Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to make a simple pair of earrings using the little shrinky-dink wine glasses that came on our Rosé All Day kit from SoftFlex company. I got a second kit, so I got two of those little wine glasses, so they'll make a great pair of earrings. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. I've got the two little wine glasses. They are so cute, aren't they? And then what we're going to use is some of the beads from our bead mix. I have already opened it. That was the Rosé All Day bead mix from Jesse James Beads that came in our Rosé kit, All Day kit. So I'm going to use this baby. And here's the other one. And we're going to use these as spacers. These are really cool. I will show you them up close here. Don't know if you can, how well you can see that. Let me get it so that my hand is got the focus on it. It's like it. They took two little bead caps and put a rhinestone crystal spacer in between it. Isn't that pretty? So that's going to be our middle spacer. So let's put the other things back up and we will get started making these. Okay, so I've got some ear wires and I've brought some 20 gauge gold wire down. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these jump rings off. Even though that's great that they gave them to us, I'm making this gold and I would prefer to just hook it straight to these. So there's one. And two. So jump ring's gone, and now we're going to cut some wire to make our earring. So we just need a few inches. We need enough to make the wire wrap loop at the bottom, one at the top, and then the beads to go. So probably where this little kink was at, right here, is going to be quite sufficient. So we'll just cut that right there. And we will start our little loop. See, this one needs a little notch cut off the top, so there we go. And the first thing, of course, we want to do is make our loop at the bottom. Well, first we want to straighten our wire some because we don't want it to be kinked when we're working with it or rounded out any more than it has to be. So that looks pretty good. So then we're going to bend our wire, and we're going to give it quite a bit of space. It looks like about 2 inches. And I'm doing that because I'm going to use make a larger ring than normal, because we're going to put the shrinky dink right on to our wrap loop. Now see, I've made a nice big loop. I've left a gap here as I came so that this wouldn't have problems, hopefully, going on. Nope, it went right on. That's great. So then we hold it with our pliers, knocking that to the back so that it doesn't get in our way, hopefully. And then just hold it and wrap. And you'll want, well, however many wraps you want. I usually put at least 3 to 4. Let's see which side is the front of this. Looks like this is, so we want the wrap to go to the back if possible. That's a personal preference of mine. I think it looks more professional if the wrap is in the back so that it's not showing as much. So then let's just trim this excess and tuck it in, and then we'll get our beads on here. Okay. Now that looks pretty straight up and down there. So this is our first bead. Our little spacer and our round down. And that's what our earring is going to look like when it's finished. We'll just now do the second loop up at the top, bend it over. Now I want my small pliers again. I don't think we need a big loop now. So I go with the smallest set, go around all the way, bring your puller this way. Now check to see how rounded it is. It looks pretty good. So now I'm going to want this to face this way, so when I slide my earring wire on it, I want to start with it backwards. Because when it rolls around up here, as it should relatively easily, but it's being a difficult one today. Come on, baby, all the way through. There it goes. Then of course it will flip around to the other side. Now again, you want to hold this right here just above where the connection is and pull your wire around. And again, since this is the front, come on baby, I want that wire to come back to the back. Then we'll cut it off, being careful not to cut anything extra. And tuck that in. Carefully, because these are glass beads, we don't want to break anything. And there's our first earring done. Except for it looks like this is a little bit crooked, so we'll pull it up some. There, that's better. If you don't like the way the wire's sitting, just play with it till it sits the way you want it to. That looks pretty good. And one earring done. Now let's get some more wire out and do the second. So we'll cut this baby loose. And we should be done with the wire, not needing it anymore. This one has the notch on the end. We cut that off. There we go. And straighten her up. Now, as I say, well, I didn't cut off that much. I actually was sort of surprised that I didn't cut off it any more than I did. Want to bend this. Then we're going to go with that big loop again to put the shrinky dink in. And I believe it was the middle one, the smaller of these two. Round and about, and here. Now, once you get this around, you may want to straighten this so that it's more rounded, because sometimes our lollipop shape just doesn't show up. We do need to sometimes pull it to where we want it, and if you need to, that's fine. Now if you'll notice, I did pull that loop apart a little bit so that the shrinky dink would go in easier without straining it. And now push that back, hold your loop here. A little closer would be better, so we'll move that forward. And then wrap this. Now that just went on top of the other wire. You see how that did that? I don't want that to do that, so pull it back off. Take back hold again. And when this happens, you usually need to get a second pair of pliers out to get this tight again, because it wants to go over the top of the other. Now, since this is the back here, we can just cut it off right here and then tuck it in. Now that we've got this tucked in, we can start putting our beads on. There we go. It's looking pretty straight. Let's straighten that just a hair's breadth right there. And we'll put our beads on now. So the oval. Come on, where's your hole? There we go. Now this side looks to be maybe a little bit jammed up. So we're going to get our bead reamer out and stick her in here and see if we can get that fixed. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We got it working. Now we want our last bead. And we want it to face forward this way. So we bend the wire opposite to this loop because this is the front. And we want our loop to be going sideways. So bend it over, put in your pliers, wrap them around, drop them down, bring them the rest of the way. Make sure that it's straight up and down, like so. And that when I pushed that in, and we didn't want to because we want to get our ear wire on. Remember, facing backwards. Snap it up here. Then take hold of it right at the base of where they come together, but on the side of the loop. Come on, get out of the way, ear wire. Ear wire's just determined to be in the way, isn't it? There we go, right like that, where the pins come together. Then take your wire and wrap it around. And as soon as we trim this, our second earring is done. As soon as we trim it. So now that we've got this trimmed, we just need to tuck this in. And this earring is finished. Aren't those cute? Okay, so we don't need our wire anymore, so let's put things away here. And I'll turn around and show you how these look all finished. Okay, that's our earrings from our Rose All Day bead mix from SoftFlex company. There's the one and the other. Aren't those cute? As I say, you will need two of the kits to make the because the little wine glass was a decoration on the package rather than a actual part of the bead mix. But I thought they were so cute I needed to use them for something. So there they are. Actually, my original plan before I got my second kit was to use it as a dangle off of a bracelet. But obviously I didn't use it for that. Anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you really enjoyed these. I think they're really cute. Bye-bye.